HighVibe Conversations. You are now listening to HighVibe Conversations. Hello, my name is Tawana Chamberlain, and I am your host for this new podcast called HighVibe Conversations. We just want to talk to people about what they are doing to stay motivated, positive, to remain hopeful and inspired during this time of quarantine. So, this will just be a mixer, if you will, a virtual mixer, and I'll have some of my friends who are professionals and thought leaders in their industry. People who like to stay close to the light in terms of positivity and to bring joy to people, to bring hope and inspiration. We just want to keep the conversations on a high vibe, a higher frequency, and not give way to a lot of the negativity that we hear on the news or just with things going on around the globe in general. There is so much with coronavirus and COVID 19, the global pandemic. And we are finding our ways through this new normal right now. So I just wanted to create a podcast, a safe space where I could bring people on, like minded individuals, kindred spirits, to talk about how to remain hopeful and positive and optimistic and still productive at this time of quarantine and isolation. So I hope you'll enjoy the show. And we'll get started with my special guest for this episode, Mr. AC Brown. AC Brown is the founder of AC Brown LLC, an athleisure brand company that helps promote health and wellness to persons of all ages and backgrounds. AC is a boss. He is a CEO. He has worked as an accountant for major corporations. He's also a model and an actor. Mr. Brown earned his Bachelor of Science degree from Grambling State University in accounting. And aside from modeling and acting, AC also enjoys fishing, attending sporting events, live concerts, and building his brand. So without further ado, I'll bring you my special guest for today's episode of High Vibe Conversations, Mr. AC Brown, in just a moment. So keep it locked right here. High Vibe Conversations.
And we are back with another episode of High Vibe Conversations with my special guest for today, Mr. AC Brown. AC is the founder of AC Brown LLC, an athleisure brand company that helps promote health and wellness to persons of all ages and backgrounds. His clients include CEOs of major organizations, public relations specialists, professional photographers, NCAA athletes, business managers and administrators, high school coaches, family, and friends. AC has worked as an accountant for major corporations such as IBM, Mobil Oil, Wyndham Hotel and Resorts, and as an auditor for the federal government's Department of Health and Human Services Office of Audit Services. In addition to working in corporate America, AC has also appeared in many national advertising campaigns, industrials, TV commercials for industry giants such as Walmart, Dell, Blue Cross Blue Shield, AT&T, Motorola, FedEx Kinko's, Six Flags Over Texas, Denny's, Brinks Inc., Comcast Cable, Radio Shack, and Lockheed Martin, to name a few. AC Brown earned his Bachelor of Science degree from Grambling State University in accounting. AC lives in Chatham, Louisiana, where he was born and reared. He is very active in his community, and AC also enjoys fishing, attending sporting events, live concerts, modeling, and building his brand. So, AC, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. And yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. No complaints. Busy businessman.
Yes, I'm doing my best to keep busy.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So I'm going to just jump right into our interview. My first question is, what are some things that you are doing to remain positive and productive during this time of quarantine?
Well, actually, I've been working on and improving my self-taping audition techniques as an actor, as that's something that's very important in my line of work. And being that my main interest has always been that of a commercial model, I've always known that I needed to come across more natural on camera as an actor. So I'm very proud of myself in this area, to be honest with you.
Right, a lot of growth. I can attest to that. I've seen that over the years. So that's awesome that you are multifaceted. And I would just dare to call you an omni-talent right now because you have a lot going on, especially with your new athleisure brand. But we'll talk about that in just a few. So can you tell me this? What advice would you give to others to uplift them?
I would always say find something that you're passionate about. You want to look into what it takes to achieve, to make your dreams come to fruition and believe in yourself. A lot of times people tend to focus on what someone else is doing and how they're doing it when they really just need to just trust your instincts and go for yours.
Right.
Don't allow something negative that happened to you in your past to keep you from pursuing what you really want to do. You have the ability to achieve and reach success as much as anyone else in life. And that's the attitude that I have that I really feel like would uplift and inspire persons to become what they really want to do in life.
That's right. And that's some sage advice there, AC. Now let me ask you something a little more introspective. What have you learned about yourself during this coronavirus crisis?
I learned that I actually have the ability to switch focus from one aspect of my business to another when a crisis or unforeseen circumstances arise. One example is due to my distributor and my embroidery designer having to close their business, I basically had to shut down the order of clothes from my fitness line and focus more on developing material for the AC Brown podcast.
Right.
And that show has now grown from a 30-minute segment on Sunday evening to a 1-hour segment on Sunday evening, as well as a 1-hour segment has been added on Wednesday evening.
Wow.
Yes. This is further proof I'm making sound decisions as a business person that is allowing the AC Brown company to grow and carve out its niche in the marketplace, and that I'm very proud of.
I would say so. And it sounds like what you did as a result of this pandemic is you were able to pivot. And that leads me to a shameless plug here, but I just wrote a really good ebook called Switch Things Up, The Power of Knowing When to Pivot Personally and Professionally. And it talks about that, and it gives readers advice as to knowing when, how to be discerning and intuitive when it comes to that. Some pivots are forced. Others, you just have to be able to study and research the marketplace, identify trends, and know what's best for you and your brand. And so I talk about that, but it seems like you just recently had to execute it because it was necessary. It was a necessary pivot for you to make. Now, AC, you have been, I'm going to go off script a little bit. I have the tendency to do that. You have been in the industry for quite some time now, and you have modeled, you have acted. Now you are a podcast host, the CEO of an athleisure company. How were you able to successfully reinvent yourself so many times throughout your career?
I've always had a passion for doing my own thing. Even though I worked in corporate America for various companies, I always had the vision and the dream of owning my own business and being versatile in that business. And one of the keys to being successful in business is not to just have one thing that's going on. You want to be multifaceted. You want to have different streams of income within your business. And with my experiences that I gained in corporate America and then getting involved in the entertainment business, they're actually intertwined in a way. Your corporations are like when you're watching a movie and you'll see like different companies will have their product in a movie, which that's actually product placement. So one
Right.
of my visions was I want to have my own company and have my own product, and in turn be able to have that product to actually wear or put into a movie or commercial or print ad that I'm actually in. So that, putting all that together for me was very easy, and so that's now what I'm in the process of working on and building to get to that point.
Right. Well, sounds awesome. And let me ask another question, because I love talking to you, AC, and you always have such sage advice, so much wisdom. But we have to keep it short because we have a certain allotment of time here for the podcast.
Yeah.
But I want to know something else that's not on script, and that is, you are a very spiritual man, and I know that you lean on spirituality for strength and for wisdom, direction. How has your spiritual strength helped you in the midst of this coronavirus crisis pandemic? How has spirituality played a part in your success?
One of the things that God has in His Word is that there is nothing new that's under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And even though this COVID-19 deal is announced as this has never been before, this is our first time, it's our first time in our lifetime that we've experienced this to this degree. But God has always allowed man to exist with whatever disease or famine that has come upon the land.
Mm-hmm.
So my focus has been and will continue to be in believing that tomorrow would be a better day, that He would see man through this, and we have to stay connected to Him, because once we begin to lean on our own understanding
Come on now.
and our own strength, that's when the weakness of being man comes in, and this is why sometimes you hear a person giving up or committing suicide or just not seeing any way out, because we get so focused on the way things used to be, the way we want them to be, and not being able to keep our eye on the prize, which is life itself.
Right.
That's where my spirituality comes in, and that's where my strength, therefore, lies in. It's just believing that God will bring us through no matter what the situation and circumstances are, because that's what He's done my entire life.
That's right. And amen. Let the church say amen. And because, like my grandmother used to say, I know where my help comes from. And when you know where your help comes from, you don't give way to the panic and the frenzy, because you are leaning and depending on God. You are trusting in God to bring you through this, and your faith is made strong and it's edified in situations like that. So that's very important, that we stay focused and that we stay connected to our Creator right now in the midst of all of this. So, Mr. Brown, tell me, what new projects are you working on right now?
Well, right now, I've recently been selected for my first magazine cover, which is Empowering Men to Speak Out magazine.
Yes,
and it's set to be released for July 7th, and I'm super excited about that. And I also have 2 articles that I've written for the magazine, so those will be my first writings that someone can see in a public forum.
Yes.
I'm also in the process of putting together my own 60-second TV commercial, which basically is telling the story of me working through physical pain, because I had a spinal fusion surgery years ago, but I'm still having issues with that, but I have to live with that pain. And I'm hoping that the commercial comes across in a way to where it's inspiring and motivating others that have to deal with pain. I'm hoping that comes across and it really is a benefit to those that get a chance to watch it. And that's my first stint at, or stab that I should say, as being a director, executive producer, a writer, and a producer on the project, which I'm very, very excited about seeing come to life and seeing how it plays out.
Yes. Wow, that sounds wonderful. I will certainly be checking it out and staying abreast of what you have going on, because you are a very busy man, and you're also productive, and positive, which is what I like so much about your personality type and who you are as a businessman. Now, AC, tell me, how can our listeners, our High Vibe Conversation listeners, connect with you? What's your website, social media handles? How can they find you?
My website is www.acybrowns.com. You can find me on Twitter at BrownAC, and you can also find me on Instagram at AC Brown. That's ACY Brown. Also on Instagram at AC Fitness 2020, and also on Instagram at AC_Brown_collection. And those are my social media platforms as well as my website.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, AC, for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with us today. It's always a pleasure, and I hope that you will come back and talk to us a little bit more and give us some more inspiration and insight and just share some of your best practices and business tips with us. Will you do that?
I definitely will, and it's always a pleasure talking to you, Tawana, and I appreciate you very much.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. Well, thank you so much, AC, and you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of High Vibe Conversations, the podcast that strives to spread peace and positivity in the midst of this pandemic.
HighVibe Conversations.